Hello and welcome to our first ever All-Ireland Senior Singles Up for the Match preview show. Over the next half hour or so, we're going to look ahead to the O'Neills.com All-Ireland Four-Wall Senior Singles Finals for 2024. I'm joined by three men who know a thing or two about the sport. Apologies straight off for the lack of gender balance tonight. We did try to get a few ladies to join the panel, but unfortunately it didn't work out this time. From the famous Swinford Club in Mayo, we have GAA Handball's TG Cahir commentary team of Chris Gavaghan and the new Connacht Intermediate champion, Ollie Cassidy. We'll get to that maybe, Ollie. And from the famous Ballina Club in Tipperary, we have senior star Ger Coonan. Welcome, lads. We're going to look ahead to these games. I hope you're all as excited about them as I am.
Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Ger, you kind of said, you gave me a text, Ger, last week or the week before about Brady. Do you want to talk to us about that text?
Which text? There was a few texts going over and back.
There's a few texts. You woke up and you're all excited like Christmas Day.
That's true.
Brady was back. That's actually true. Chris didn't believe me, but I showed him the text.
That's true. That's true. I think there's no doubt about it. There's definitely massive excitement with Brady back. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just back from Croke Park there a moment ago, and the word is it's actually sold out already. So that just shows you the level of excitement.
Well, we're talking here on Wednesday evening, and at the moment it's sold out online. I think there might be more tickets will go back up on sale. There's a certain amount of invitees, so they're probably waiting on some of those to come back. To jump straight into it, we'll start with you, Ollie. What's been your highlight of the championship so far in the O'Neills.com senior singles in the ladies and the men's?
Well, for the ladies, there was a huge upset. I'm really enjoying the ladies as well because it's great to see Martina back in the fold as well. Martina, she brings a lot of power and aggressiveness, and there's no messing around. She'll go for the juggler. And then for plan B, she'll go for the juggler as well. She'll go for the bottom brick, Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's the way she plays the game. She's all out attack with both hands.
Catriona Casey, which is, I have two words for her: ruthless and ruthless. Like when she starts, she'll go to town, and she'll give you nut to zero, and she's after winning that thing out in Mexico, that pro tour out in Mexico, and that's the only thing I've kind of insecurities about, because that's a long trip back from Mexico, isn't it, Chris? That's a lot of
100%. Like it's about look, what an opportunity to go out on a pro tour, pick up another win on the pro tour. I think it was their 28th win, and then to come back, into an All-Ireland final. She's a week off. She's a teacher, so she's stealing the living like yourself here, Ollie. But she's having she has the week off. She can rest up for a couple of days. Bounces into the All-Ireland final. She's been there before. It's like, as I said, she's ruthless when she comes to finals anyway.
But we've all come back. You guys have played in America. Chris, you've played in America. The jet lag coming back. I think it's 11-hour flight, isn't it?
Yeah,
11-hour flight, and she has to drive from Mexico to a couple hours from the airport across the border. Like, she'll be wrecked, tired. I know she's. What do you think, Ger?
No, that's a big point there. I listened to Catriona on an interview on the WPHA website, and she outlined that she got a 3-hour bus from Ennis to Dublin. She then flew, and she had a stop off somewhere, and then she got another flight, I think, and then another bus.
Like Atlanta, then Houston, then another bus. So it's serious.
It's not your typical journey. Like, this is, I think, I would be concerned if I was Catriona. I think, I don't know, it was definitely a big call to go and play that event the week before the All-Ireland Senior Final.
Okay, Ger, I was going to save that one, but we'll jump straight into the ladies' final, I suppose. And that was the first question I was going to ask you, lads. Catriona's the favourite to win this. Fiona's in her first final. Was it a little bit reckless of Catriona to go to Mexico the week before the game? Obviously, she knows her body better than anyone. She knows how to prepare, and she's done it many times. But as you say, it's not just your average journey. This was an odyssey.
Well, it was a good walk. We say that, but no, we've all been, as I said, we've all been to America. But going is one thing, but coming back, I find I'm wrecked coming back from America more so than going. Coming back to Ireland.
Yeah, like reckless. We won't know until Saturday whether it was reckless or not, I suppose. But when she was coming, like we've all been, the West Coast of America is hard to get over when you're traveling back. Just the time difference, the sleep patterns, all of that stuff is really difficult coming back into. Now, who knows? She might fly back into Dublin. She might spend an extra couple of days in Dublin, and get, she might not mess around with it and just kind of go plant herself beside Croke Park and get an extra few games in Croke Park just to get over the travel. Who knows? I haven't heard anything different, but it seems a little bit of a wild trip to take a week before the senior final in what's going to be definitely the biggest game of the year, if not the biggest game that we've seen in maybe 10 years since Paul Brady's gone away from the sport. The magnitude around this game is massive. It's really, and that's why everyone's excited, because they don't know what's going to happen. And Catriona going to Mexico adds another unknown element. Who knows what's going to happen there? So maybe it's an amazing opportunity for Fiona. I'd be excited if I was Fiona.
Look, it's about 4.5 days, if you think about it, to rest and shake off the jet lag. And as Chris said, if she stays in Dublin and doesn't go down to Cork, that's another good walk down to Cork, isn't it?
We've never mentioned it's a different ball.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
so
big difference.
You've the travel, you've the jet lag, you've a different ball. To be honest, just looking at all the results over the weekend, she just kind of steamrolled the field. In terms of the quality of game she got, she seemed to beat everyone fairly comprehensively. On the other hand, I look at Fiona, and Fiona's pretty battle hardened. She's had a tough quarterfinal, tough semi-final. I see her playing over the court this evening. She was playing Keith Armstrong from Wexford. She is absolutely flying it. I don't believe I've ever seen her playing as well. She is like a live wire around the court. And she is certainly up for it.
If you're Fiona Tully going into this game against the multiple champion, probably the greatest ladies player we've seen in Catriona Casey, what's your tactic? How do you go about taking down Catriona Casey in a final like this?
I think she'll be looking at what Sienna did last year. She'll be definitely looking at that match and taking a lot of inspiration from what Sienna did, because that was a big shock in handball circles last year. And I think Fiona has a super chance. I think the field is actually a lot more level now, that when you take into consideration, that Catriona was away last week. I don't know, she hammered everyone out in Mexico. I'm not sure she got, really pushed. Then she's come back a different ball. I think Fiona has a great chance.
Chris, would you agree with the point that there's actually more depth in the ladies senior singles than the men's at the moment? I don't know, do I fully agree with it, but I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, I think it's more balanced. I think Martina coming back into it definitely makes it more balanced. You look at the sides of the draws, I think the semi-finals scores probably didn't tell the full story. I think Alicia Alicia played much better in Mexico against Catriona than she did in the All-Ireland semi-final. She looked a lot more comfortable. Maybe just the occasion got to Alicia on the day. She was really up for it beforehand. We were having a chat with her, and it was like she didn't really settle into her own pattern as the game went on, and Catriona looked imperious at that stage. If you just taken the semi-finals, and after the semi-finals, you'd say Catriona's there to dominate the championship, because she looked so good in that semi-final against Alicia. She literally barely made a hand error. She had barely made a hand error in the whole championship so far, and then she goes and makes a big trip like this. Fiona, as Jared said, Like she also had a win over Catriona the last year, was in the Nationals final, the one ball. So maybe the stars are aligned for Fiona a bit in terms of the balance of the championships. I think the balance of the championship this year in the men's is much better. It seemed like a deeper field. There is 2 or 3 players that are standout. Like you'd say Jeremy, Robbie, and Paul Brady being back in the mix. But if you took those 3 out, it would be a completely open championship. Anyone could win it. So maybe there's just a little bit of a level that has to, maybe over a little bit of time, another year or two, we'll see a few more come to really challenge the sequence there and upset the order. But it'll be interesting to see how this develops over the next year, especially the year of the Worlds. So like you just want to see, like everyone, I want to just see really good competitive games on the finals day and just pure excitement for the fans. We'll see what happens.
Ollie, I'll start with you on this one because you already touched on it, I think, with Catriona, but we'll ask all the lads the same question. I'm giving you 2 words to describe each player. So we'll start with the ladies. 2 words to describe Catriona Casey and 2 words to describe Fiona Tully as competitors and as players.
I'd say, like, the first word, like I said earlier, was just ruthless. Even in training, it's just ruthless. And the second one would be her work ethic. I'd say she's an unbelievable worker. Like, and to even compete against Catriona Casey, you'd have to beat her work ethic. You know. So, but look, at having said that, Fiona's a great worker as well. Like, so I don't know.
What's your 2 words to describe Fiona?
Fiona is just determined, and she's a real athlete. She's real athletic, and she likes to be running around the court, hitting the ball fast with 2 hands. Like, she plays handball like she plays football. It's all go, 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 go. And sometimes she makes these unforced errors. That's just her downfall. It's a shame. And if she shows up the next day and plays her game and doesn't have the unforced errors like the hand errors, Jesus, she'll put it up to Catriona.
Chris, same to you. 2 words to describe Catriona and Fiona.
Catriona, I'd say composure. She's a winner. She's a proven winner. She's won it all. The big day hasn't phased her. She's won all the titles there before, and she's a multiple time All-Ireland champion, pro stops. She wins it all. Fiona, I think athletic, and I think she's that type of live wire mentality. Like, she's there to cause an upset. So that's anything around the athletic and the live wire. As I said, it's a bit of an unknown how Fiona is going to react to the big day, which again adds to where the excitement could be in this match.
Ger, same to you.
I suppose Fiona, I would say she's a live wire, and I would say she's quite resilient. She's had a tough over the last number of years. She's had some, bad beatings from, Catriona and Martina and those, but she just keeps turning up in tournaments and she keeps coming back. If you look at her run in the championship, her quarterfinal, semi-final, she was down in both games and she just dug them out. So that's what I'd say about Fiona. In terms of Catriona's just been so consistent. She's consistently been performing, like 28 wins out in the US. That's incredible. No other player's ever done that. That's a lot of sand. And I suppose, she's ruthless. That would be that what I'd say about her. Yeah, ruthless.
Yeah, it's quite striking that Catriona will hand out a lot of donuts. As Sean Devine says, handing out donuts like a drunken baker. There's nobody else hands out donuts like Catriona. Probably since the days of Duxie. If she gets on top, like, she really hammers it home. Okay, lads, it's a moment of truth here. We're going to ask you to call this game. I'm going to make a prediction on this one. I'm going to sit out the senior game because of my Cavan bias. I'm going to go for Catriona in this one, but I think I could see a tiebreaker. I just have a feeling that the stars might be aligning for Fiona and we get a big performance with this big crowd. It's an unusual atmosphere for handball, and that might produce unusual things happening in the court. But I still think the class of Catriona will come through it, I think. But I'm going to go for Catriona to win in a tiebreaker. Ollie?
Oh, that's a hard question. That's a tough one.
I'll get you off the fence anyway.
Oh, that's a tough one. If Fiona, I've seen Fiona like Jer now. I've seen Fiona at her best, and Fiona at her best is unbelievable. But the big question, as Chris said, can Fiona bring her best on the big day? Fiona, she's like myself. She's a tendency to lose concentration the big day and get nervous. But if Fiona comes with the tools she has and the fitness, she can beat Catriona. And just because the whole Mexican thing, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I know you guys are going to go for Catriona, but I'm going to go for Fiona Tully.
Big shout, Chris.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I think just on the occasion itself, I think it's kind of made for Catriona, and I think even though, like, look, she might watch this, she might not, but like, this will be another. She'll use this as a reason. But we're questioning whether she's going to turn up on the big day because she went to Mexico, right? She'll like 9 times out of 10 she's turned up on the big day before. She'll probably do it again this week, so I think she'll win it in 2. But I think that we're going to see a big performance from Fiona as well, and it'll probably bring the best out of Catriona. So I hope it's good, just a really good match, and it's good and tight. But we'll see. I think Catriona will win it in 2. But
Ollie, you're going Fiona in 2 or 3.
I'm going Fiona in 2.
In 2, big shout, Jer.
Look, yeah, you kind of have to go with the favourite. Catriona's a massive favourite in my eyes, but I think the fact that she's been away last week for this week, it's leveling the playing field. But I think, look, obviously Catriona's the favourite, but I think Fiona's a super chance. I think Catriona will win it in a tiebreaker. That's what my prediction will be. Yeah.
Okay, well, 2 absolutely brilliant players, and we're really looking forward to seeing that one. Now, I hope nobody will mind us calling this the main event. This is the game that's going to be on after the ladies senior singles, the men's senior singles final between the holder Robbie McCarthy, the pride of Mullingar, and the gunner from Cavan, 5-time world champion Paul Brady. How big of a deal is it, Ger, that in our centenary year in handball, in our first senior singles final program in our new centre, that we have the GOAT, Paul Brady, against the unbelievably talented defending champion, Robbie McCarthy? This is a perfect storm for handball, isn't it?
Absolutely, Paul. I think it is exactly what handball needed, particularly senior handball. In fact, the last number of years, senior handball in Ireland has been very predictable. There's been just maybe 1 or 2 standout players, but back playing, not out of retirement because he never officially retired, is definitely a big positive for the game, a massive positive for the game.
Chris, how big of a factor in this occasion is the new centre? Because I keep thinking you could have Brady, you could have McCarthy, you could have all the other factors, but if it was played in a regional venue, it wouldn't have the same bit of stardust to it.
Definitely, 100%. The new centre creates a complete. It just levels everything up. It levels the game up. It levels the spectacle. It gets like, if you watch, even just watching the matches so far, the singles matches or the doubles championship, you watch it on the TV now. The show court makes such a difference. It is absolutely spectacular, and it puts us up there with the way that the sport should be viewed. Like, obviously handball it's been trying to get into the mainstream and people's public consciousness for a number of years, and you know that as a minority sport, we've struggled to kind of get the airtime that we as handballers know we deserve. We know the sport it's a spectacular sport on its best day. It's unbelievable, and we all know that. It's about getting the public consciousness to realize that too. So, and the Crow Park and the Crow Park facility that we have just makes it so much more visually entertaining, so I think it makes a massive difference. The fact that it's in such a spectacular arena, it'll be there in front of a full crowd, all of these stars are aligned to maybe kick handball on to the next level. The year of the World Championships, man, it's amazing. Really, it's a great time to be involved with the sport.
Ollie, your commentary has been brilliant, as has Chris's on the TG Car stream so far. But last week you were calling Paul Brady Tiger. So you're referencing obviously Tiger Woods. For people who don't know handball, who might be watching this, don't know Paul Brady. Describe Paul Brady. Who is he and what is he?
Well, I'll tell you, Paul. I was talking to James Brady during the week, and Paul is going to kill me for telling this story, but I'll tell it anyway. Paul is he's like a tiger. It's nothing to do with Tiger Woods. I always call him the tiger because when the tiger breaks out in him, he'll go through you for a point. He'll like before the game, as you well know, Paul, and probably the rest of us as well. But you both all know Paul Brady. But before the game, you can't go near Paul. He's like a cut cat. He'll eat you alive. You can't even say hello to him. He rang James Brady there. He was traveling to Croke Park there, and he said there was no hello or nothing. He said, "Bring bananas. Are you going to the game? I forgot bananas. Bring bananas." And James, it was like handing the bananas, like opening a gorilla's cage in the zoo, and throwing the bananas in and closing the door again in case he claws you. He'd eat you alive before the game. No, he's going to kill me. But after the game, he's grand. He's at ease. But this game, I have to say, it reminds, now E-Bucks would be too young to remember this, but it reminds me of Ali and Fraser, the fight of the century. Fraser has the title. McCarthy has the title. Ali is coming back for the title. Brady's coming back for the title after 11 years. I was at his last game where he played Rick. I was going out. I was trying to beat the traffic, and I was going out past him. And he said, "Ollie, come here." And he said, "I'm retiring." I said, "Retiring?" I said, "You think you'd better win something first before you go retiring from Irish handball? You only have to win in 10 senior titles, But he's back now, and he's looking for the crown, and he's looking hungry as ever, and determined as ever.
Jared, you've shared a court with both lads. Describe what it's like being in the court with Robbie.
Oh, look, Robbie is an absolutely incredible handballer in terms of his skills, his dunk shots, his ability to just run down any ball in the court. He's just such a well-rounded handballer. Absolutely incredible. He probably, when it comes to 40x20, 6x30, one ball and hardball handball, in terms of all the codes, I'd say Robbie has to be one of the greatest ever all-round handballers. I think that would be a very fair comment to make. He's just been incredible this last number of years. I think he's 37 now. Would that be correct? He was 37 last September, I think. And throughout, he just has he's just so many titles from underage in all different courts. He's just an incredible player.
And then Paul Brady, I haven't been in the court with him. I've had the privilege, or the dubious privilege of it a few times, and the pressure that he puts you under from the serve and from there on, he builds everything on top of that. It's not like anything I've experienced, but I've never been in the court with Robbie.
In terms of with Paul, what Paul put the way Paul, they're very different players, I guess. When I played Paul a few weeks ago, and from the get-go, Paul's serve was just absolutely relentless, down left and right, the sheer power. Like, if you could even get your hand on the ball, it was, it set the tone for the rally. It just meant that you're on the back foot from the get-go. Whereas Robbie's a slightly different player in terms of he tries to, move you around the court more. He's much more, he passes you a lot. Whereas, we all know Paul is just relentless when it comes to shooting the ball. He shoots the ball an awful lot. And that's what the big difference between the two players is. I think Robbie's more passive in that he passes the ball more, whereas Paul is much more aggressive and he shoots more. That's what I would say a big difference between the two players there.
So Chris, talk to us about what Jer referenced there, the dump shots, the paddle kills, as the Americans call them, which Robbie has perfected. For people who don't understand handball, like, what exactly is that, and what's the benefit of it?
The dump shot is basically taking the ball on the fly or on the half volley and just kind of taking enough off the ball that it just makes the wall. So whether it be into the corner or straight, and he's just got that perfected. Every time he strikes the ball, so sometimes you think that he's just half hit it, but it just about breaks your heart, you know. So for Robbie, that is one thing that Robbie is going to break out. That is his shot, signature. It's his favorite thing to do in both courts, and it's probably a little bit harder to do in the 60x30, but he's just got such control. As Jared said, he's got you on the string basically, and he's got such control of the court that left or right, doesn't matter where you are, he'll be able to just drop it in the corner, make it almost impossible for you to retrieve. Like, again, it's a clash of styles, and who's going to dominate is going to be who gets their game plan in play as quickly as possible on the day. You know, so we saw in the semi-final that Diarmuid had a bit of success from that 2-wall lob. So he was going an overhand lob from the left-hand side, breaking deep, and he picked up a couple of aces in the first game. That's why he kind of that was his game plan in the second game as well. And he had a bit of success from that. And Robbie would learn from that. He was sitting just in front of myself and Ollie. And he was taking all that in. And no doubt he'll be looking at that and goes, maybe after 10 years out, you know, that might be where I'm going to pick up some joy on the day. But like Paul might have a plan for that too as well. So we don't know. That's
Ollie, the serving obviously at this level is absolutely key. Chris made a good point there that Diarmuid Nash got that lovely overhand serve going, and it seemed to give Paul a bit of trouble. So what do you see as the first serve that both players are going to utilise now on Saturday in the men's final?
I think both players are going to go, as Ger said, low and hard, down left and right with big hops. And Robbie's going to try and pull out that lob toss Chris was talking about. But you can be damn sure Paul is dreaming about them tosses, taking them off the back wall, fly shotting them, half volleying them. He's rehearsed that. What probably Ger Coonan right there. He's probably rehearsed that. We don't know, but he's rehearsed that, and he's in that court looking at that serve, and he's figuring out ways all week how to deal with it. The style of play is all tiger. It's all go, pounce on you. It's all aggressive. And eventually you have to take the foot off the pedal. You can't keep that aggressiveness going. And the last day against Diarmuid, he kind of took the boot. Now look at the serve was giving him this. There's no question it was giving him big difficulty, but he dealt with it. You could never see Diarmuid winning the match, like winning the game with the serve. And the second game, then it was 7 he got?
Yeah, well, like Paul went from 19-3 up to at one stage 20-14 up, and then he finished out the first game. So, like, and that did put a little bit of a gloss on Diarmuid's scores. If he had gone out, if he had lost the game 21-5 in the first game and 7 in the second game, we'd be talking about a very different type of match. But Diarmuid had a little sustained part of the match where he had success because he went 11-1 against Paul Brady. So that definitely gives that adds to the excitement. It means that maybe Paul Brady is fallible after 10 years out of the game. Where, you know, he wasn't when he had stopped playing Irish tournaments. Paul Brady was leaving senior players on 1s, 2s, up to 5s. He wasn't getting out of second gear sometimes to win Irish championships. He was just going out there and absolutely blasting people out of it. So this weekend, they're just layers of little bits of intrigue here that makes it a little bit more exciting.
Okay, lads, we're nearly wrapping up here. So I'm going to ask you again the 2 words to describe each of the senior men's finalists. And it's 2 words this time. Ollie, you used about 202 words last time.
I'm just so excited about this game. I'm like waking up Christmas Day and Santa coming. It's a big one. It's I'm just, you know, I can't wait for it really. I'm really thinking about it a lot every day. I'm
Okay, well, think about your 2 words there when you are thinking. Ger, I'll ask you first then, Ger. Paul Brady, 2 words.
Power and relentless.
Robbie McCarthy.
Jeez, you have me stumped here. Retriever and paddle specialist.
We'll give you that. We put a hyphen in there. That's the word. Chris, what have you got? Paul Brady.
I got a killer, and winner. He is the winner.
Excellent. And Robbie.
Robbie, skills and intelligence.
Okay, Ollie.
I'm glad you saved me to last because I have a few more words than 2. We'll do Robbie first. Robbie's enigma. That's one word. That's like you don't know what he's going to do. He could run you around the court. He could just serve these unbelievable serves. I see Ger nodding the head because he's seen them. Robbie can close a game out in seconds with these serves. You know, he can just, it's over in seconds. So he's enigma. We don't know what he's going to do, what he's going to bring. You know, is he going to be intimidated like years ago against Paul? He used to get intimidated with the power. With Brady coming back from America, you know, yeah, enigma. I'll get to the point, Paul. Enigma and enigma. 2 words. Enigma and enigma. Them 2.
Love it. And Paul Brady.
Brady. Sure, Brady. I've 1 word. 50,000. He bet the best in the world I've ever seen. I've ever came across. I've seen him a few times live. David Chapman for 50,000 on his own. No one really there supporting him against all the American crowd for 50 grand, and he took it off the best in the world. So that's 1 word, 50,000. He's unbelievable. And the next word would be ruthless, pure ruthless.
Okay, lads, it's get off the fence time. I'm going to start with you, Ollie, because you might take a while.
Well,
Ollie, I want you to call it and how many games is it going to take? So is it Robbie in 3? Is it Paul in 3? Is it Robbie in 2? Is it Paul in 2?
I went against the favourite in the women's.
Who is the favourite in the men's?
I went against the favourite in the women's.
So who's the favourite?
Well, the favourite in the men's is obviously Paul Brady. Even though Robbie's the champion and he's the younger man and he's the senior champion, but I think he's the favourite, is he not? Would you not agree?
Yeah, probably. It's Jesus, I don't know. If I was a bookmaker, I'd probably make him favourite. But
who would you think is favourite, Paul?
I don't want to comment too much because I'm biased, obviously, as coming from the same county as Paul. But I would have thought Robbie would have been slightly favourite as defending champion.
Who do you think is the favourite, Ger?
Brady has to be the favourite.
I think so. I think so.
Okay, we've established that, Ollie. In the next half an hour.
I love this conversation. I could talk all night and all day long. I know.
Well, we know that.
We have to cut about handball, like, you know. But what's your question again?
Give us your prediction and how many games is it going to take him?
Oh, Paul Brady, 2 straight, no question, no ifs or buts. Paul Brady. No, sorry, Robbie, but if Robbie shows up, he's the only one in the country and in the world that could probably stop Paul. Fair play to him, but no, Brady 2 straight all day long.
Big shout, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Paul in 2.
Ger.
I think Paul in 3.
Paul in 3. Either way, lads, I think we're on for an absolute cracker. Before we wrap up, I'll ask you,
Paul. I know you're biased, but what do you think?
I'm going to sit in the fence because I think it would be.
Come on.
It'd be unfair on Robbie if I was to give a prediction, because there's nobody from Westmeath here to even the scale. So I'm not going to give a prediction. Before we wrap up, Ger, it'd be unfair to ask the lads because they're doing so much on the commentary, but the link up with TG Cahir and the two lads as well on the commentary, how big is that for handball? How good has that been? I heard a whisper today that TG Cahir are very, very happy with the viewing figures, and it's exceeding expectations so far. So in our centenary year, with this great final, with the news centre, and to have the lads and the great link up with TG Cahir, how good is that for handball?
I think it's absolutely incredible. It's just given us an unreal platform for us to showcase what our sport, our product to the world. Look, I've a lot of friends now who actually have never played handball, but have actually, clicked in the link which I've sent them and shared with them, and they just think it's an incredible sport. They still can't believe that people are actually hitting the ball with their hand that hard. So yeah, look, we've been blessed. This link up with TG Cahir has given us an unbelievable platform, and hopefully that relationship will continue for the foreseeable, particularly with the, it being our centenary year, the World Championships, and it's just incredible.
Lads, we could talk all night. Ollie, even you could talk all night. We're gonna have to wrap it up at that. The very best of luck to all 4 players in the senior finals, and indeed everyone who's playing in All-Ireland finals in the weeks to come. Big shout out to yourself, Ollie, as well. You're gonna have a rattle off an intermediate title, hopefully, as well. So the very best of luck. Huge thanks for
you, Paul. You're playing as well. You're
no, there's a separate podcast on that. Thanks, lads, for giving up your time, and we'll see you all Saturday.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks very much.
Follow the All-Ireland Senior Singles Finals live this Saturday on TG Cahir Sport. Find the links on the GAA Handball Facebook and Instagram page, or go to youtube.com/@sporttg4. See you there.